Bunny Milim, Bunny Rimuru, Bunny Min. These guys are finally coming out to global. They've been out in JP for about a week, and surprisingly, I haven't been sent any crazy videos about these units, but at the same time, I guess I'm not too surprised. But these two are the brand new Tensura characters and the brand new units in Grand Summoners Global, which means it's time to decide if we should summon, if we should skip, maybe just do a multi, or what exactly is the whole ordeal here. Of course, before we even get into anything else, as always with these kind of crossover summons and all that type of stuff, if you just like how they look, if, you know, Rimuru is one of your favorite anime characters of all time, you know, you got all the figures, you maybe even got a figure in a jar. I don't know where I was going with this. Is Easter Rimuru actually good or not? Well, if we look at his entire kit, I can't necessarily tell you this guy is terrible. He gives you art gauge with his art. We also have a true art that gives you the healing, which is very strong, and a stat cleanse as well, which is equally as good. And then the super art gives you dark res and magic res down. Not to mention he has a passive that gives everybody on his team 20% more max HP, and he increases his own heal amount by 20%. So technically, this 5% HP heal is going to be a little bit inflated just due to that passive. Plus, you know, if you get some crest on him that increases like his heal amount and all that type of stuff, you can definitely make him heal for a bit more than just that initial 5%, right? He's going to be healing for quite a bit. In terms of the overall metagame, this guy really isn't too bad at all, considering his art is giving you 4 arts per second for 25 seconds. And, you know, that's just an art. 100 art gauge and you have it. Another thing that's really good if you're a brand new player is that with this just being on an art, you don't have to ascend him to be able to get his like support. Same thing with his healing. His art and true art already have the support. So if you just have to run this guy, you know, awoken for a bit until you can ascend him, he's not going to be really a detriment to your team whatsoever. He is a bit more of an investment compared to, you know, his human self if you wind up getting that one, the awoken one. Specifically for new players here, because the awoken one is just so good. Like awoken Rimuru, he got buffed. He has really good dream awakenings. He's such a low investment unit that can really take you so far. However, let's circle back to Easter Rimuru. Apart from just that, it's also really hard to recommend him though just as a support overall because he is a type E Archgener. If this Archgen type was something else, you know, EX possibly to where it can stack with everybody, or if it was like type F, may have been a little bit more generous, but even type F is getting quite diluted nowadays. But type E is one of the most loaded Archgen types in the entire game. Like, you have characters like Hoka here. You have the original Rimuru who shares this Archgen type. It truly is just anybody that Archgens that's a crossover unit and their Archgen is unconditional, it's probably type E. So that really hurts team building quite a bit with him. This doesn't really apply if we factor in him being on Mono Dark Demon. You literally are running like Demon Lord Vox, Demon Lord Rimuru, Easter Rimuru, and like Albedo. The only problem with this is that one of the characters rely on you being around whenever Overlord came, and if you weren't here during the Overlord crossover, well, then you can't really run Mono Dark Demon. You technically can, but I'm just gonna be honest with you, you're not going to be able to survive in tougher content. You're going to need that extra bit of DR that Albedo gives you. I think when it comes to the Ascended versions at least, Demon Lord Rimuru is still on top, which is surprising because he is a damage dealer here. And then I would say it's Easter Rimuru and then Demon Lord Samurai Rimuru. The only time I would change up these rankings is that if you didn't have as many type E Archgeners and you were able to run Easter Rimuru a bit more on a lot of different teams, then absolutely Easter Rimuru I would say is probably the best one to go with just because of his support. But if we're considering the fact that you have a few different type E Archgeners, I think he's just right in the middle, man. Look at that. I've already recorded for 9 minutes apparently, and I've only talked about this bunny guy. But there is another unit on this banner. I know, it may be surprising, but it's gonna be Easter Milim. Easter Milim, whenever she first got showed off, I was expecting her to be like Okaroon J, you know, one of these type of characters. And after they have tweaked her and they've changed some stuff with her arts and everything, I think this character is kind of a little poo-poo. Now, in the areas where you're able to use her offensive power and really get it to skyrocket and you're able to build a team around it, it's going to look really fun. It's going to look really fun. It's going to look really strong. However, how many times are you going to be able to actually get that setup going? If this character was a ramping character, or not a ramping one, my bad, a jumpstart character where they get like 200 arc gauge at the start of every battle or something like that, my opinion about them would be drastically different. They would be I wouldn't consider them one of the better rampers, but I would definitely consider them a very strong ramper that could be used alongside someone like Summer Miyu or even Okarun if we just wanted to ramp attack like crazy. Unfortunately though, for whatever reason, GS decided not to go this route. All in all, I would say she's not a bad unit to pick up, but she's also not the greatest. Kind of the same thing with that Easter Rimuru. Kind of just middle of the road. There's going to be some events where you can use her and it's going to seem really good. And there's going to be some other events where you use her and you're like, she's kind of just dead weight. I could use someone else that's going to drastically improve my chances of winning the quest. But now let's move on to the verdict. Should you go for these units? Should you not? Is it just a skip fest? What's the deal? I'm going to be honest with y'all, unless you are a fan of Tensura or a Mono Dark Demon Head, I think this banner is easily a skip. You know, I don't even think you have to do a 50 pull on it if you don't want to. I would possibly save your crystals for the reset on the other two Tensura banners, just because they have drastically more value in them than just these two characters. These two characters aren't as groundbreaking as some of the other Tensura characters. Not to mention you have a higher chance of getting something really good in the other two banners compared to this, where I would argue Easter Rimuru is kind of like the main prize, and even then his power isn't gonna like make or break your account. Of course though, it wouldn't hurt for you to just do your 50 pull. These two are brand new characters, and if you just care about getting someone new, then it never hurts just to try to do your 50 pull. See if you get lucky. If you get lucky, great, you have a new character. If not, it is what it is. Save for the next unit. Simon should be coming out eventually, right? I mean, we're probably going to be saying this all 2026, but Simon should be coming out eventually. As for me, I am going to be summoning for these characters just for the simple fact that they are new Tensura units. Either way though, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Tell me down below what you all think, or if you're going to be summoning on the banner. I'll be reading your comments. If you are going to be summoning, I wish you the best of luck. If you liked the video, I heard it increases your luck stat by 1. Hey, just what I heard. If you enjoyed this video though, I have you click on this video right here. Great piece of content. I'll meet you over there. Before you leave, don't forget to drink water.